For more than 2 years while suffering from IBS and dealing with gut issues, I followed all the necessary recommendations. I ate more fiber, I regularly exercised 3-4 times per week and drink plenty of water and even more. However, I was completely devastated because I hadn't fully recovered yet and still struggling with daily abdominal discomfort, so frustration and despair were already knocking on my door. Stop, I don't say these recommendations don't work, but here one more thing that we're talking a lot about, especially in terms of gut, but actually struggling to practically deal with, and that is mental health. That is why in this video I want to share, based on my own experience, how I had myself mentally at a very difficult time for me, because only after a long time I realized that the brain has much more powerful effect on my gut than I thought. And then I will give you a bonus that will help you to start taking care of your mental and physical health right after watching this video, so stay tuned. In fact, approximately 10 to 15% of the global population is affected by irritable bowel syndrome. It's around 1 billion people. Furthermore, about 40% of people worldwide experience gut issues, equating 2 out of 10 individuals, so you're not a loser because you're having IBS and you're not alone. That's what I want you to remember during and after the video. And the best first step you can take is start listening to your body and your feelings. Cry when you want, angry when you feel angry, follow your hunger cues, and take time when you want to rest. Taking things slow and stop rushing really helped me to make a difference. It doesn't easy because you still have your errands, and find time to slow down seems for me unnecessary before. Sometimes I even didn't notice that. I just hope it would go away by itself, but only when I had no more ideas how to help myself, I decided to take it indeed seriously. It's like assembling a puzzle when you don't have or have lost the other parts of it, and because of that you're not able to see the whole picture and feeling there is something not enough. But there are a lot of tools you can use, and there are some of them that I'm still using. It's journaling, affirmations, just saying I'm healthy and I'm feeling light and comfort in my stomach was my starting point to feel better, and a few days I saw the first positive changes in my condition. Breathing practices, listen to nature music, and try sometimes do what you want or feel rather than what you need. For example, go to sleep instead of doing homework till midnight. I know workaholic out there. Think more positive, or in other words, don't let your physique define your mental state. I know what you're going to say, or how do you want me feel good when I really can help it? So I wear in your shoes and I know what you're talking about. Since having IBS more than 2 years, I felt completely broken and desperate. My brain was like, just leave me alone. Of course, there are random days when I felt better and discomfort didn't bother me so much. But when you feel alone and can't share it with anyone because they just can't understand what it felt like or too embarrassed to talk about it, obviously it will mentally hard for you. But I realized this cycle will never end until I change my mind first. Therefore, I try to be more aware of the present moment. As I said earlier, I say a couple of affirmations every day and just listening to my music at 11 p.m. And this kind of thing seems weird at the first glance, but they really helped me at the beginning to raise up my mental state. And now I feel like it's more easier to have even more significant changes towards healing my gut. I also recommend you to stop comparing yourself to others. I know it seems unfair that somebody have never struggled with that, and at the same time they don't seem to taking care of their health. But thinking like that doesn't also help you at all. Besides that, we don't know what actually that person is going through, and now I look at this as a lesson that was necessary for me to gain experience for the future. Pay attention to relieve your stress. You probably heard about brain-gut axis. It's a system where brain and gut constantly send signals to each other through hormones, chemicals, and nerves. And the key player there is the vagus nerve, which acts like a communication highway between brain and gut. Additionally, the gut has millions of nerve cells and produces many brain-like chemicals, including about 90% of the body's serotonin, a chemical that helps regulate mood. This connection explains why feelings like stress or anxiety can affect our digestion and how gut health can actually affect our mood. Therefore, it doesn't matter how much fiber you eat or exercise, if you're always stressed, your gut will still working on fight or flight mode that actually slowing digestion. It means you can't digest food while something jeopardizes your life. That was actually your brain thinking in the moment. I also noticed that a sudden attack of anxiety almost all the time was accompanying my IBS issues. That was a hint for me where I should start working on. For example, just 10 minutes work with a dog without phone really calms down my nervous system. I'm not a big fan of breathing practices, but just few deep breaths helps me to slow down and relieve stress. And recently I've also found out that digestive and respiratory system are closely related to each other. When we breathe deeply, our diaphragm moves up and down, massaging our abdominal organs and promoting healthy digestion. And conversely, bloating, constipation, discomfort can restrict diaphragm movements, leading to reduced oxygen intake and shallow breathing. So it's always a comprehensive work of several systems, even immune. Now I still consider that I acquire IBS not only due to stress but also my relationship with food. But only now when I gained some weight and got my period back, I can see the difference between me now and me before. Even though I thought my diet was very healthy, it wasn't. In my opinion, recovering my relationship with food was the hardest thing, as it can't happen overnight and there is no answer. It becomes even harder when you have IBS or any other gut issues, because now, besides eating nutritious food and appropriate amount of fiber and fermented food that has probiotics essential for our gut microbiota, you also want to have a healthy relationship with food and not be restrictive. And when we worry too much about what you eat, it puts a lot of pressure on your mind. I remember the times when I could spend almost an hour in the grocery store to just find a healthier snack, which finally make me more stressed and can lead to worse consequences if you didn't worry about that too much. I like going to the grocery store, but not in this case, and when I stopped controlling myself to buy the food with only clear labels, it turned out much easier and enjoyable going there. I don't deny that there are some products that contains artificial sweetener that could make an unpleasant effect on your body and your gut, but I don't recommend you completely eliminate them, especially if you have IBS, because your gut need to adjust to different types of food to make a difference in your health. So if you want to buy these kinds of products, don't be afraid to eat them and consider it as an experiment to see how your gut will react to them. Eat all diversity of food, don't exclude essential ones, and don't be extreme. One more thing I want to mention here, for better or worse, but drinking gallons of water won't cure your gut either. Drink whenever you feel like it, as it's still important for your body. Usually when you visit a gastroenterologist, they give you general recommendations such as following a certain diet that implies eliminating some types of food and drinking a lot of water, as well as adding more exercises to your daily routine, including abdominal exercises. And that makes me ashamed the most, because you wouldn't expect to hear this after working out constantly all alone. At the same time, this situation made me realize that there are other factors affecting my health, and I still do sport and I love it. Indeed, regular physical activity produces changes in our brain chemicals such as endorphin, serotonin, and stress hormones that enhance our mood and reduce anxiety. It also helps the digestive muscles maintain strength and coordination, improving gut motility and preventing constipation. It increases blood flow to the gut, promoting a healthy balance of gut bacteria. In addition, studies show that low or moderate intensity exercise is enough to make a difference in terms of your mood and thinking patterns. Moreover, it supports the gut-brain axis by promoting gut integrity and reducing inflammation, while excessive exercise without proper recovery can harm your gut permeability. If I had known about this earlier, I would advise myself to working out in the way that benefits my body and make me feel good rather than working against it. Don't over-exercise and don't be extreme. Also me who tried to shoot in this video for the third day. By this I mean if you're too tired today but still have planned workout, do something more light or just take a rest. In this way you won't burn out and still will stay active, not only to recover from IBS but also to maintain your overall health for a long time afterward. And here's the promised bonus. To make it easier for you to take first actions towards healing both in mental and physical health and stop being stressed about so many things you have in your head, I made a mental guide at Notion where you set your goals you want to achieve in your health, then break them down into more smaller and precise aims. I also left a separate column for other goals to make this guide more practical, and finally organize your daily routine in your to-do list or inserting them into your calendar. There you can also find a place for your notes and some helpful mental tips and sources, and I suggest you to try to make a 30-day challenge to compare your results in a month. So just click on the link below this video and get this template for free. Remember, this is a non-linear process and it took me a long time to see the first results, so just be more patient and kind to yourself. Bye!